Naki, naki. That made me think of well, so that's okay. So let's talk more about like I think what we did a couple weeks ago was really good, where I went through the foods at Walmart, and we kind of showed you what's food, what's not food. I showed you some safe options, like if you're out and about, what to look for, what to avoid. Some of you were horrified and shocked. You're like, oh my gosh, we were eating all these foods. Now that's not food. And so I thought today we can do a number of things where I kind of answer your questions first and field your questions about products, or I kind of take you through the shopping cart, or we can go through Azure Standard. What do you guys want to do first today? Um, the, anything? Do you guys have a suggestion or an option? Well, then, that's fine. So nobody really cares. Let's go over to, well, I got to figure this one out. So I think, okay, just tell me if this works. Okay, can you see the Azure Standard page?
Not yet. There. Yeah.
Okay, so we can, I want to show you if you guys do not order from Azure Standard. Certain people don't understand the benefit of Azure Standard, but they also aren't the ones who usually cook from scratch. Not everything is a better deal from Azure Standard. It's a better deal from Azure Standard if you do things like organic cheese and bulk orders and stuff like that. But Azure Standard has, so you go over here, do you see this? Are you seeing my cursor and everything? I just want to make sure everybody's seeing it.
Yes.
Okay. So if you go over here, you have the food, health and beauty, household, family, nutritional supplements. I don't do that stuff. Outdoor garden, all these things. When you go to the food, you'll see, well, you have all these different categories. Oh my goodness, right? Now, some of the things they do fantastic is if you come over here to frozen groceries. Some of their frozen groceries are fantastic and they're canned foods. So let me show you some of the things I really like from here. You can get these big boxes of frozen organic vegetables. Azure Standard is run by Messianic Jewish people, the Stelzer family. And they have been doing this. I've been ordering since 2007, and that's nearly 20 years. This company has been going a very long time. When you see a company, when it has the Azure label, they are committed to no GMOs. This whole company is committed to no GMOs. But what they say to caveat it, remember, they do say we can't always guarantee that in every product, but organic is, of course, certified non-GMO, remember. But not everything will be physically labeled kosher on the sign, but if it's from Azure, there's no pork or shellfish either. They are a biblically clean company. That's one of the nicest things about them. They don't serve any pork products. They don't serve any shellfish. So if you have room in your freezer for like frozen foods, do you get any of these, Sanine? Do you get the frozen ones?
I do, but not a whole lot because I have a tiny freezer space.
Okay, Yesenia, do you get the frozen veg? Okay,
Hmm.
their quality is really good.
We got
And
the
you
pineapple. It's really good.
Yeah, so any of these frozen items that you can look through here. Like the reason here's the benefit of doing things like the frozen fruits, smoothies. And so you can throw these smoothies in something with like Greek yogurt, a tiny bit of honey. I don't use honey, some of you do, but you can use a touch of cacao. And here you have like a blendable smoothie bowl base or just a smoothie in itself. Smoothie bowls are a bit thicker and you put granola on top or sliced fruit. But if you make smoothies a lot, you should check this out. Now, Costco is typically still cheaper if they have it. I will point out if you go down here, like they do have, look at these tortillas. These are organic corn tortillas for those of you. Oh, you don't like these?
No. And I bought a bunch, so I still have a bunch that I'm stuck with.
Well, I like them.
They're like cardboard. The texture is
Oh, maybe this is the other company. I like the me one. You're right. That's the wrong brand. This is Ezekiel Life. I like the me, what's the word? The other tortillas. They had a different corn tortilla one. Now, this brand right here, the Snowpack brand of the peas and the blueberries, Again, you always want your produce organic. I'm just going to say produce absorbs everything on it. And it, if you think about it, organic produce has 5 to 500% more nutrients and vitamins in every bite. That's simply because the soil is, uh-oh, did somebody say something? What happened? You got to read it to me because I can't.
Cardboard and sardines, yum.
Okay, well, there we go. So yeah, any of the Ezekiel Life products in general are pretty cardboardy. Like I avoid these English muffins, but I do get these Stacy's tortillas. My husband likes the white ones. I like the whole wheat ones. They're really good, easy, really good. These right here, these bagels, I love them. They are the Alvarado Street Bakery. These bagels are fantastic. They are sprouted grain and they're a they're a bit different than like you would get like a cheap crappy bagel, but they are good. Again, Bill, they'll back up to this fruit thought and the vegetables. Literally every single bite of nutrition you're putting in your mouth is 5 to 500% more vitamins and nutrients in every single bite. There's no such thing as cheap food. There's no such thing as cheap food. So every cheap bite of food you're eating, you have to eat like 5 times as much or to like 500 times as much just to get the same vitamins. Because with organic soils, they use more holistic approaches. They use manure, they use rich nutrient compounds. They don't deplete everything with chemicals and fertilizers. Now, they do still allow biodegradable type fertilizers and pesticides. I don't like that, but they do the safer ones that degenerate, that break down. Whereas like if you do something like Monsanto's Roundup, after 26 years of testing, there was no breakdown of that systemic herbicide. It was in the soil, like no breakdown. Whereas in old herbicides, they would do 5 to 7 years and they would find almost completely out of the soil. That's why they did crop rotations. They would do the oats and then the wheat and then the corn and then whatever grains they would rotate it. I don't believe in any herbicidal use. Don't get me wrong, but at least those herbicides would break down in 5 to 7 years. Roundup, Monsanto glyphosate doesn't break down. It's in the soil. And then those things kill your thyroid, they kill your endocrine system, they kill your gut flora, they kill your lactobacillus and bifidobacterium. Those are the only two things they kill. That's why it was classified as antibiotic first. Well, what's in your stomach? Lactobacillus and bifidobacterium. So if you have no gut flora, now you can't process your food. Now you don't have the brain power because your brain power begins in your gut and you've got problems. Maybe that's what happened to many people. No, just joking. Now, if you continue on, you do have things like whole chickens. I'm not going to say these are cheap. They're not. So when you buy meat from Azure Standard, it's not the cheapest. But what I will tell you, Mary's is a fantastic product, always committed to no GMOs. Okay. So Mary's is fantastic. I really like these little potato things you can get from, I don't know if you can even see it because my little screen's in the way there, but these cottage fries, they had the hash browns up there. Those are yummy. This brand, I've always liked the Snowpack brand. Again, yeah, so some of these things are, now again, you're going to find like, even if you find these sausages or these hot dogs, look, they're all beef. Okay. That's the one nice thing about Azure. There's no pork skins, no pork products, nothing. This is the Thousand Hills ones. These are a bit pricey, but this summer sausage right here is amazing. It is very pricey, but
My kids and my husband like that very much.
yes. And so if you order by the case, the quantity gets cheaper. Look here. So you can look at your options on this. You can do one, you can do two, or you can do a pack, and it goes down, like this one is like $18.39 a pound. It goes down to $15.05 a pound when you do it by the case. This is why bulk ordering from them is fantastic, because if you have freezer space, the price goes down. And you do have to remember there's shipping depending on where it ships to. Here's the whole wheat tortillas. Anyway, I just wanted to show you the frozen section is fantastic. They do also have like salmon. Make sure when you get your salmon that you're doing wild caught salmon, because if you don't, it's almost guaranteed to be genetically modified salmon, because farm raised salmon is genetically modified. Sadly, the farm raised salmon often get out and spawn with the wild salmon, so we're still at the mercy there. Pray for Yah's help. Okay, so let's go over. Oh, I do get these a lot. If you guys like chicken wings, I get the organic wings. It's honestly a really good value. I buy these almost a case a month for my husband because when I butcher chickens, I cut the wings off. Lately, I'm like, and when I have done it the last few years all alone, I'm like, I am not plucking these wings. I will buy these wings. I will pluck the rest of the chicken, but I'm not plucking these wings because, oh my gosh. So when you're all alone doing it, that's what happens. Notice how they have lamb here. They do have lamb. They will never have pork or shellfish. That's the nice thing. This Rudy's brand is a good brand of bread. Let me just go ahead and click on that. Notice how when you go to this page, right here, this blue button says Rudy's Bakery. Click on that. Now, their sandwich breads are actually really good. So you just have to read it because some of you don't want any like sugar, like the sourdough bread has no sugar. Some of them do have sugar though, so be careful. But look, they have English muffins, they have their tortillas, I don't know. But their bread is actually pretty good. You can get a case of it. It gets cheaper by the case and you throw it into the freezer. The other thing is you can always make sure to look for discounts. Like they have sales. Azure will have a sales section. So notice how we look at my little cursor. We go hot dog, buns, breads, bakery, breads and bakeries and then food. So let's go back to food. And now it switched on us. Their condiments. Oh my goodness, guys. Their spices. Like go to the Azure Spice. You'll never find them cheaper. And they're so good. So you have dip mixes and they're all like, look at right here. So see how it says gluten-free? We don't really care about gluten-free usually. Non-GMO and kosher. So they repackage these in their facility. So it doesn't always say kosher on the label, but their main package was. Their spices are amazing. And when you get these big bags, they're big bags, like big quantity. I get their cinnamon all the time, all sorts of things. So let's go to the Azure Market and I'm going to show you this. They have all sorts of cheaper condiments. So when you go to the Azure brand itself, where they repackage some of the things they grow in their farm, but all these things are almost always cheaper when you get these big bulks things labeled with Azure. So we have walnuts, we have garbanzo beans, almond meal flour. I want to just show you their spices and seasonings though. So their chili powder is the bomb, but their number one thing that we cannot live without, I don't think we could even go through a day. No, I'm teasing. This taco seasoning is amazing. Their taco seasoning mix is the best taco seasoning I've ever had. I used to sell street tacos for the farmers markets with my restaurant, my grocery store. We'd step outside. This taco seasoning is the best. You put it in your chili, you put it in your taco meat. If you want to season up something and give it that little Mexican kick, that Latino flair, that taco seasoning is the thing to do. Their chili powder is really good. Honestly, all of their Italian seasonings are good. All of their seasonings I have had good success with. They even have cheese powders, like kosher organic cheese powders. So if you need like your own mac and cheese, you could throw some cheese powder in. They have soup blend. They have vegetable broth. They have pickling spices. Like look at, and literally, I used to sell these in my store because I had a wholesale account with them at the time. Oh my goodness, they would just like fly off the shelf. The value in these spices is unmatched. Now, their curry, not my favorite, but not terrible. But it's okay. You know how some curries are just really good and some aren't? This one's okay. I need my curry to have a lot of paprika and a lot of chili. I need that like in there. Lemon peel powder is another one that I'm not a big fan of. Their lemon peel powder is really bitter. Really bitter. But you even have a poultry seasoning mix. Just look at all these seasonings. You can go through on your own. I just want to show you these things are pretty amazing. If you come over here, we go back. Let's go back. Sorry. So we go back to the Azure Market. You can come over here and let's say dehydrated foods. Oh my gosh. Their freeze-dried strawberries are amazing. I give them to my grandson. I eat them all the time. They're a bit pricey, but they're worth it because you get a big old bag and you can only eat so many. I mean, how many? So for your children or to throw in oatmeal in the morning, you can get a big bag of freeze-dried fruit. So I don't know. like where's all their, anyway, they have all these dehydrated fruits. It's something that, here's the thing, the more ingredients you eat, the healthier you'll be. If you can just eat mango slices, or you can eat an apple, or you can eat apple with peanut butter, and just not just eat sardines every day. Is he still on? Okay. Did you hear me, Seth? You can't just eat sardines every day, buddy. We got to get some fruits and vegetables in that diet. I'm teasing. But if you aren't able to like just have like a case of apples or whatever on hand, these dried fruits are something fantastic that you can keep on hand. Now, you have to be careful because with dried fruit, you're taking the whole fruit and dehydrating it. That's a lot of carbs. So you have to make sure you're not like overeating, because you could still get like a little fluffy if you eat too many of those. I do want to point, what was I going to show you with Azure Market? What did we just talk? Oh, popcorn. Oh my gosh, you can get giant bags of organic popcorn. So good. And you can just make your popcorn right on your stovetop, a tiny bit of oil, and pop it right in there. You don't even have to have all the bad chemicals from the bad papers. If you have a brown paper bag, put it in the microwave, hit popcorn, it'll pop. Just watch it. So, just turn it a little bit. Oh, let's look at their fruit. I'm going to show you something here. They don't always have the best produce prices, but the bulk apples and pears are amazing. So if we go over here again to shop, go to food, go to produce. Okay, so we want to go down lemons. Like these things are good. You can get a big bag of carrots. They have good prices on carrots. Again, most of the produce will be cheaper through Costco. I'm just telling you, not always. But the one thing we want to look for is see if they have any apples. They may be out of stock. But look, right here they have peaches. So you can get a whole 20 pounds of peaches for $25.20. And you get it and you eat peaches. Pears right here. You can get is it $26 for probably a big case here?
I just want to point out, sorry. I ordered their bulk peaches because they were on sale and I was so excited I was going to cut them all up and freeze them.
Yes.
But the whole box came moldy. So sometimes,
yes, anytime.
Sometimes they're not always that great if they're on sale because they're going out of season anyway, so.
Yes.
But yeah.
But the one thing nice about Azure, and that was the last truckload because I'm the drop coordinator here at Haley's down in Casper. All of the peaches were bad, and you can just return them. You just tell the truck driver, he gives you a little slip, or you call Azure and they give you your money. What I've learned to do, you can actually keep it. You get your money back and then feed it to the chickens, because it's better than it going to waste. But sometimes they want to take it back and they have a reason. But look over here, you can get these big cases of pears. Yeah, and thanks Haley for pointing that out. Now, pears are just being harvested. This is the season to start buying pears and apples. Some of you don't know seasons of fruit. So when do you start buying the oranges and the lemons? Well, January, February, right? People don't understand all these seasons because you don't always live around everything. Right now, pears, plums, apples. Those are your big kickers right now that are fresh, hot off the tree, amazing. So, and these tomatillos, oh my gosh, they're good. If you guys have never tried tomatillo salsa or tomatillo sauces, grab these tomatillos, just roast them, push them together with some lime juice, salt, cilantro, and pepper. You don't even have to use pepper, but I do. Oh my gosh, you get the most amazing seasonings. I put them in chili. I put these tomatillos in chili. They're tomatoes, right? They're like a tomato family. They're in that family, Solanine family, and they have high vitamin C. They're so good for you. But I digress. Back to the pears. Look at this. $18.55 for 20 pounds of pears. That's amazing. So you can get different, if you like the Danjou, the Bartlett. If you go down here, here's apples, some ginger gold apples. You can also, though, get small. If you don't want the full 20 pounds, usually you can get like smaller portions. So ginger root, I don't know if you guys like that, but some people do it in their tea. They're out. Apparently, these are out of stocks, so they don't have this. Anyway, I wanted to, Azure Standard is one of those companies where it's pretty safe, right? You have Jewish people who are messianic, who run the company, who make sure there's no pork or shellfish. They do a ton of products in bulk. You have to shop through it. But if you can switch over and budget and start doing it by the month, you end up saving money. I had families who, when they switched to my grocery store and they switched to all organic, we worked with them to get them meal plans because the first upfront cost was like, whoa, but once they had it, it was a lot cheaper. That's what happened to you, Mecca? Or is that what she said? She raised her hand.
I
Or
was
she,
just saying that's what I need. But
yes.
that's a side conversation, because I'm trying to hire you.
Okay, well, there you go. We'll work together on that because it can be overwhelming. So if we go back to food here, we're gonna go to shop. I'm gonna go to food. The canned goods are amazing. You can get cases of refried beans, cases of chili beans, cases of dried, or I'm sorry, of canned peas, vegetables, all sorts of things. The breads, the side dishes, they have basically everything. Pasta, you can get big boxes of pastas. Oil, I get my vinegar in 5-gallon tubs from them. I also get 1-gallon organic white rice vinegar from them. One of my favorite products is, let me look here. So Bragg's liquid aminos is, oh my gosh, this is your umami. This is your savior for all your dishes. If you're going to make anything, gravy, rice, any soup, this is your new miracle broth because you just throw it in a little bit of it and it's amazing. When I do any Asian dish, anything, when I'm doing mashed potatoes in the gravy, I put this liquid aminos. When I'm doing great, it's so amazing. It's such an umami. It's so good when I do well, here, let me show you the Worcestershire. They might not have it anymore. Yeah, there we go. Let's see if they still have it. They might have. So they have the Worcestershire sauce. It's all kosher, vegan. When you're gonna make like so, where you take like the gravy, what is it called? For some reason, my brain is frying. Salisbury steak, or when you're taking like the steak tips, and I
Like
do
a
a lot.
roux, like a
It's not a roux. I'm just
No.
the dish that I'm thinking of. This is it's a. I understand what you're saying. There's actually like what am I? It's the food, the actual food, like steak tips, but it's like I don't remember the name right now because my brain's fried. But I make a brown gravy. I throw Worcestershire in with some liquid aminos, garlic, salt, and pepper. And everybody loves it. So you just make like a creamy gravy. I do that with just steak tips. I guess maybe it's just called steak tips. I do steak tips in that brown gravy where you cook them slow during the day in your crock pot and stuff. Oh my gosh, everybody loves it. Same thing when I'm making sloppy joes. I take that can of tomato sauce. I put my secret ingredient is the Worcestershire and liquid aminos. And people are always like, oh my gosh, like Jed will eat like a couple of them. He's like, how are these so good? Well, it's a tiny bit of Worcestershire and it's that liquid aminos with the salt and the garlic and the lots of pepper.
You
So
mean like a French dip, like that kind of dipping,
no,
like
no,
liquid?
I
No?
Swiss
do.
steak. Swiss steak.
It's
No?
different. My brain literally is fried
Okay.
right now. I had like almost 3 hours of sleep last night, and I can see the dish and I can look at the dish and I know what it is. But the French dips I make all the time. So I will tell you how I do that, though, Yesenia and Sanine. I take it like my meat and I just put water, liquid aminos, salt, pepper, garlic, right? And it cooks down. That au jus is a very thin broth. And then we do dip the meat into the French dip. And so to make your French dip, you guys sear your French dip like 3 minutes each side, literally front, back, and then all the turns that you have. Then you want to cook it for like an hour and a half. And then you want to take it out of the oven and thin slice it. And then you put the cross cut. Then you put that meat back in the juices, put it back in the oven, then let it slow cook. You have the best French dip in the world because the meat, first of all, got sliced before it fell apart. Men hate that grainy meat. Then once you pulled it out, you sliced it thin, then it marinates in those juices for like an hour and it's cooking. Men like die for that one. They're like, oh. And anytime you need a little umami or a little help with something with red meat, always use butter. Butter, it goes with lamb, butter goes with beef. So again, if you come over here, like as your standard, let me show you this, guys. So the cream cheese. I love like these big, I ordered a case of cream cheese. Okay. So you can make your own, but this cream cheese right here, the farmhouse cream cheese is fantastic.
I
Okay.
tried making for this last Shabbat because I bought a huge like bulk of the Nancy's
Yeah.
cream
Oh,
cheese.
yeah.
So I was trying to use it up, because it needs to be used up. It's about to go bad. So I made cream cheese out of it. It was like tart. Nobody liked it.
Nobody likes Nancy's cream cheese. Everybody likes Nancy's cottage cheese. Don't the either. So this Organic Valley cream cheese and the farmhouse cheese are the ones to get. Okay.
Okay.
Nancy's is very, very, very tiny because it's live probiotics. Again, though, when you're looking at foods, you want to cut your carbs, you want to be healthier because, okay, your plate should always be like 2/3 vegetables. And then let's go up with our grains, our couscous, have a mostly plant-based diet, and then we go with our protein. You can't beat cottage cheese, cream cheese, these kind, Greek yogurt, those types of protein, amazing. And so those are good things to have if you're trying to kind of eliminate some of the meat products, get your protein high. And the Bible even says he will eat curds in ways that he may learn to refuse the evil and receive the good. So I always think that when we eat it. I will show you quickly cottage cheese. Let me show you what you can do here. You can order these things. This Nancy's, I like this one right here. This one's really good too. But you can order it in 6 to a case and then just put it in your fridge. They last forever. You can do the same thing with any kind of yogurt. You don't just have to use Greek yogurt, but if you want the Greek yogurt, but notice if something, again, if it's already organic, it wouldn't need a non-GMO verified label because that guarantees it's non-GMO, okay? Here you have like a fun little treat, yogurt covered almonds. If you ever wonder, oh, it doesn't say kosher, it's pretty safe if it's from Azure. You can pretty much guarantee that. Go ahead, hon. Go ahead, Haley.
What kind of blocks of cheese do you recommend from there? Because the last time I ordered, it was one that was on sale and it was like a smoked cheddar one and it was good, but
This is what you want.
smoked cheese doesn't always go good with
Right.
everything.
This in my restaurant, this cheese. So I made pizza on Friday because since it was going to be Sabbath and I had the billboard, it's going to be Sabbath tonight. We closed at 4 o'clock on Fridays. I'd make cheese, pizza, and turkey pepperoni pizza, and all these toppings. This cheese with a little drizzle of oil on top, oh, mamma mia, so good. So the homemade crust, and I put it through. I had like my pizza presses, Oh man, it was so good. So these blocks, you can get 2 by 5, and it's really, honestly, pretty economical. It comes 2 5-pound blocks. You can freeze it.
I froze
Mine-
mine. Yeah, and it freezes well. Yeah.
It does. It
Yes.
doesn't slice. Once you freeze it, it does not slice well, but
But it's easy to grade.
It
yeah.
is. It is. It's absolutely fantastic to grate once you have it frozen. If you don't like the big blocks, you can go in these 8-ounce blocks, but I'm telling you, it's a lot cheaper to go these big blocks. Now, there is another brand on here. I don't do the smoked cheeses a lot. Just personally, I love the flavor, but I get headaches from it. Again, this Annie's mac and cheese, if your family has thought like organic mac and cheese sucks, go to Annie's. Annie's is very good. They will not label their products kosher because they don't want to pay the company to certify it, but they have no pork products. I've checked with them a lot, obviously, so has Azure. But all these different cheeses in here, you can get Parmesan. I will say, as a chef, their Parmesan doesn't taste like Parmesan. And so it's lacking. And it's like a pretend Parmesan. You can tell that. It doesn't taste like Parmesan. But I buy these slices right here for my sandwiches. I always eat the pepper jack in particular and the sharp cheddar. Fantastic. I get like 9 of those packs for each month for me. That's just
I-
fine.
I did find those Annie's in Costco like
Yeah,
earlier
yes.
this past month, and so I got some for the kids. They liked it.
They do. So they've done it for years at Costco. I hope they don't change it up, but you can get, it's like a 15 pack or something really cheap.
Mhm.
That got to be less than $1 a piece if you have a Costco. If you don't have Costco, listen up. For like $1 or $2 more, you can ship directly to your house the dry goods. It's still worth the Costco membership because you don't have to drive there. Yes, you pay like $1 to $2 more per item in shipping, but it's worth it. Like it literally, it's so worth it. And so again, for the dry goods, Costco has a lot of good things, like depends on what you eat. And so, okay, so I wanted to just show you some of the things around Azure Standard, my go-tos. I always do liquid aminos, their fruit. I look at their big fruit boxes. Sometimes I'll get their variety boxes, the cheeses I look at, their dried goods, their pantry goods. I mean, I have ordered pretty much almost anything you could get from Azure regarding food, just because I like it. And oops, you can do, I mean, they even have sweets and candies, I guess. They have sweeteners, they have soups and broths. So
What about butter?
Okay, okay, let's see what their price is. I've never found them to be a good price, but they may be changing. So let's look. Here they got the vat cultured European unsalted butter, 130, so it's 9.13 a pound. It's still not a good deal. So I would encourage you, if you're going to do butter, it looks like it would still be cheaper to go to Costco. Because
And then, sorry, which one do you get at Costco? Because I know they have the Kirkland grass-fed from New
I get the
Zealand.
organic. I don't do the,
I haven't seen organic. They have an organic butter there?
Yeah.
I've always gotten the organic. I don't buy the one from New Zealand because since it's not labeled organic, I don't touch
Yeah.
a dairy product that's not organic.
Okay.
I think, Sanine, I had that where like I can't find it. If you're going into like, you know how it's like a fridge where you get all
Yeah.
your dairy? I found it outside of that, like on, what do you call those things? Like they're up against the wall and it's like an open fridge kind of thing. Like
Yeah.
where they, like the package sells like over there. So just look around because
Okay.
sometimes they'll, but they do.
They're not always with the other dairy or the other
Right.
butters. Okay.
Okay, where we are, you Californians might have it backwards, but here, Susan, tease them. It's always the milk, the butter, and the eggs together. But your guys is different. I do want to point out, they have these big tubs of peanut butter. Where's Jeanette? Is she cleaning today? Dang it, she didn't see this. She didn't get to see this. Because Jeanette likes her peanut butter. But this is so economical. You can get these big tubs of peanut butter. It lasts so well. Per ounce, it's a good price. And I love this brand, the Once Again nut butter. So you can get different, this is unsweetened creamy, so of course no sugar. It literally is just dry roasted blanched peanuts and salt. It's great because you can do this for your, morning protein powder. You can throw them with your yogurt for some extra, it has a little bit of protein. Remember, don't let the health food pretend people fool you. Peanut butter is not a good source of protein, but it's better than some. Peanut butter has a ton of carbs, it has a lot of fat, but it is a good, healthy fat. Same thing with nuts, any kind of nut butter. I just like this brand right here, Once Again nut butter. I'm sure they have different ones, but I love these big tubs. You can get peanut butter, all these different peanut butters. And for a month, here's sunflower seed butter, 9 pounds. I eat a lot of that, so that's good. You have tahini, so if you guys like to make anything like Israeli food, I used to make a lot of hummus, and this tahini is amazing. The best tahini though is Sum. Just saying, hands down, I have never found a tahini to touch it when I'm doing even when I did like my competition cooking, I always make the hummus because it's good. Hummus is hummus in Hebrew. So good. So anyway, those are some things with Azure Standard. You can get all sorts of, you could just go grocery shopping. I will say, mind your P's and Q's, make sure you don't overspend. There are some things that are just going to be cheaper to get in town. Now, going over back here to Walmart again, we already looked at these are not okay to buy. You can't just look for a kosher sign on these because also they're going to have L-cysteine, they're going to have proteins that are from the enzymes from pork. So when you're looking for a bread item, it's very hard at Walmart to find anything edible. So you're looking for, we found those pretzel ones. Dave's Killer Bread is fine, but there is sugar in it. So be careful of that, but it is kosher. It is organic. It is, oh, go ahead, Sanine.
Just a quick question. This is this, I don't, going back to the Azure Standard, getting the whole grain, the wheat berries, because I don't know, I think in the last week you were talking about, storing up grains and things like that for what's coming. Do you happen to have a formula that like I could use? Because if I wanted to order, because what I've been doing is just ordering like a big bag, 25-pound, 50-pound bag of wheat berries, but to know like, okay, did I overbuy or just like how much would
remember.
last me?
I would
Do you
just
have a
Google it, but
formula?
I'm trying to remember there was so many pounds, you needed so many pounds of wheat berries per month per person per year. That's how I figured it.
Okay.
So it is, I know. So right here though, I will point out, do you see these soft white wheat berries? If you want
Yeah.
a whole grain bread that's closer to our white bread, you use these soft white wheat berries. I used to grow these in my field. So they grow well, they're spring wheat, and I didn't have to winter wheat them, which means some winter wheats you have to plant in September, October, you overwinter them and then they start growing in the spring. This one I could plant right in April, early May, end of April, early May, and I would harvest it. And these soft white wheat berries, when you grind them, amazing. And they're called soft white wheat berries, but it's whole wheat still. So
Yeah.
it's nice.
Okay. So then let's go, because I've been doing my sourdough with the hard white. So you're saying to make it like a more like an all-purpose, then
So
it
if
would
you
be
do,
good to do the soft white?
it is, and you have to grind it multiple times. You also would want to sift it perhaps, but then you're losing the wheat and the germ, the whole benefits of, digestive system. The soft white wheat is a bit healthier. All of it's good though. And remember,
Okay.
even if you do hard white wheat, hard red wheat, or any of those things, the key is hydration, like we talked about,
Yeah.
and autolyzation, and then fermentation.
Yeah.
So
I've been
you
trying to
want,
work on that.
you want to make sure that you let your bread sit in the fridge for at least 24 hours so that all the little bacteria that you're
Mhm.
eating in the air start to break down the outer germ covering so it's not bitter. What people taste the bitter in the whole wheat bread is when that didn't ferment. It didn't get time to ferment, because if you don't ferment your bread, then it's very bitter, the outside of your grain kernels. So to get that bitterness away and to get a softer texture, you want to make sure it's high hydration, so it's not as stiff as you would make a white flour. It's
Right.
also, you let it autolyze for a while. So what you do with your wheat flour, you kind of let it sit there for a minute and then you come work it again. And then you let it sit there a minute, that's autolyzing. And then you let it sit there again. And you keep doing that. And then you knead the crap out of it. And then you let it rest overnight to up to 2 days, sometimes 3 days with whole wheat. Whole wheat, when it gets real fermented, it's no longer at all fun and it's nasty. So
Okay.
yeah.
So I guess, yeah, I'm just trying to picture the process because I've tried that. So the first time, so what I'm understanding is I make my whole dough, I mix everything, but I'm adding, so if I were to just take, just any recipe off the internet or whatever for sourdough, and then I end up, I just add a little bit more water, you're saying,
Not necessarily.
Oh.
I would,
than the recipe calls for?
it's hard to explain.
I know.
When you make bread, you'll start to feel when it's right.
Yeah,
With whole wheat bread, it's going to feel a little tacky to your hand.
yeah,
It won't completely stick to it usually, but it's a little tacky. White bread, you know how it kind of comes completely clean from your hands when you've got that perfect soft dough. White bread, white flour bread, your hands are pretty clean. Whereas with the whole wheat, you want it to be just that tacky stage. And so I would find recipes adjusted to it. And again, I
Okay.
love Peter Reinhardt's recipes. Go through Peter Reinhardt's recipes, get his cookbooks. He's a Jewish man who knows what he's doing. I adapted his recipes here to high altitude, and in my bakery, they were the bomb. So
Okay.
he did
All
a
right,
great
I'm still
job.
working on that. I'm still trying to figure it out.
That's, it takes practice. And the other thing is, make sure like you just watch. I know. It'd be nice when everybody was here if we could have done just like a cooking class together. Would have been nice. We just didn't have enough time. Holy Spirit had work to do. But it is nice. You can get oats. I get these ones. Let me show you guys the oat groats I get. I get these big bags, like the 50-pound bags. This is the one I get. It's ordered 7 times. I do like the quick rolled oats. Can be a little healthier if you get the whole regular or the steel cut or the old, the whole ones. The reason I like the quick cut is because I can just throw them in a bowl and throw some hot water on there, let them sit for a few minutes, and I come back and it's done. And you can do, these are good for when I make my bars, my protein bars, well, my energy bars more, stuff like that. And then you can get salt. Oh my gosh, you can just get so many things from Azure. You just get all these big old bags and store them. They'll last longer if they're already like the whole wheat berries, the whole oats, the whole grain. You can literally cook your wheat berries just like you do rice in a rice cooker. Sometimes you have to go another round, cook it a little longer, but you can do barley, amaranth, rye. They have great rye flour from here. So all sorts of things you can get.
Are you storing them in the buckets as well? Or do you keep them in the bags that they come in?
You can do both. You can do both. I had potable big water tubs that I purchased that I cut off the tops and we set them in there so that, to prevent against any water damage. But you can, I don't go through all the Mylar stuff because wheat berries, as long as you keep them dry, and we're in Wyoming. You don't get drier than here. We get what, 13 inches of rain a year. Sorry for all this sound. I'm so stuffy from walking today down to the that place. Anyway, so I wanted to point out here back to the Walmart things. Look at like these Pretzillas. These ones, look at how they're vegan, they're kosher, and they're non-GMO verified. So there are a few bread products from Walmart, but not very much. You're not going to be like, let me show you. Let's see. What if I go like this? Let me just do organic bread. I'm going to show you how even their organic bread you can't eat. So Dave's you can. Dave's, they're all kosher, whatever. But when you come down to some of these, I don't know where it has me. Well, this is awkward. Apparently, I don't have a store. Oh, I'm in Gunnison, Colorado. I don't live in Gunnison, Colorado. Whatever, we'll just still pretend. We'll just go to that store for some reason. I don't know. So if we lived in Gunnison, Colorado, maybe Cheryl can figure that out. These, I guess, are the breads they have there. Well, let me do, shoot, what is that one? What is that bread here? Well, let me see if I can, let me just put it to my store. Let me see. Oh, wait a minute. Okay, we're gonna do this just because I know they have different. Okay. Wheel. Sorry, guys. I thought it was select a store. Okay. Well, okay. So I thought. Oh, goodness. Okay. There we go. Now we're just going to look for bread. We want in-store only. Okay. So here's one that I avoid at all costs, unless it says vegan. See how this one says vegan? The Naked Organic Simple one? But the White Bear doesn't. Well, let's see if it shows vegan on it. So what we're looking for is at the minimum a vegan symbol. And if it doesn't, don't do it, because look at right there, the last ingredient, enzymes. Those enzymes could come from pork, because organic doesn't mean kosher, right? So we come back here and we look at this one though. This one says vegan, which means these enzymes are in fact non-pork enzymes. It's better to call the company because there is a chance that the other company doesn't have the bad enzymes. But I have spent hours and countless hours with companies. This is another one. Look at this one. Okay, no kosher, no vegan. So you see non-GMO and you're like, oh, this is great. And then you're like, oh, well, we don't see anything that says vegan. We don't see anything that says kosher. Now, is there anything, if we look at the ingredients here, whole wheat flour, water, wheat gluten, cane sugar. Cane sugar can be contaminated. Just, that's a whole nother story. But I don't eat sugars at all unless they're labeled kosher, because they can be contaminated with pork through the bone char process of purifying them and making them white. Many people don't know that, but if your product has sugar and it's not labeled vegan or kosher, I avoid it unless you called a company and know, because it can be processed and made white through bone char. Not always. Porcine bone char in particular. Right here. Now this one says plant-based, so all of a sudden we're like, oh, probably good. But just because it's plant-based doesn't mean all plant-based. Again, I would call the company. I would never trust something like that because, they're just trying to make a sale. People say things are natural all the time, and beaver anus is natural and it's in some products. So it's like natural. Well, I don't really want to eat all things natural, right? So we want to make sure it's clean. Here we have like these ones. Look at this. They try to sell you as, look at this, gut balance, flax, honey, barley. It's not even labeled non-GMO or anything. They try to seduce you into thinking this, but look at this has soy. What the heck? R23223 PH2O2741. That's a chemical that's in this. You're going to put that in your body? I think not. We are the temple of the Holy God. No, thank you. However, quick side note, look right here, calories 160. Now, we have carbs 27, dietary fiber is 7. Our net carbs, 27 minus 7 would be 20, just so you know how to calculate your carbs again. This one says total sugars 4, 3 added sugars. This would be a hot mess. No. 3 added sugars, we wouldn't want that many added sugars in a piece of bread. Okay? If we come back down here and we keep going, we already went through some of these brands, so I'm not going to keep going through all of them. Look, again, everybody's like, well, it's just bread. Well, no, what was it touching? What was it in? Like what, this isn't a facility where they're cooking pork, they have ham sandwiches, all these things. So just because it doesn't say it has pork, doesn't mean it's kosher, because there's no kosher certification. There's no vegan sign. So when you're in a facility and you're buying something from a bakery, if it's not labeled kosher, I don't touch it. If it's not labeled non-GMO, I don't touch it, because I don't know what it touched in that facility, right? Because they don't have the same stringency, and within their facility, they are processing little shrimp snacks for the Japanese people who want those little shrimp head fish things. Who knows what they're processing back there? That's my point, right? You look at the ingredients and again, ooh, here we've got, look at this, do they have monoglycerate? Well, the enzymes could definitely be from pork, and they don't have to label this, remember. The corn meal would be genetically modified. The wheat could be genetically modified. The vinegar could be genetically modified. The vegetable oil is most likely genetically modified. The sugar is most likely genetically modified. Mono and diglycerides, that's pork. Okay. No, right? You guys think this is food because it packaged it nicely. Oh, what a nice fresh loaf of bread. No, it came from Cisco in a big lump. They pulled it out, the pre-portioned lump, and let that lump leaven and like get soft and rise, and threw it in their pre-made pans, and it looks like it's fresh made, and it's just chemicals. See, just killed your body, killed your gut, just died. Okay, now, again, Dave's Killer Bread is one to always look for like this Naked Organic. Well, at least it has the vegan sign. Blah, 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 blah. And we could go on and on with that. What I will show you something that we didn't talk about last time. Look at this. Coffee is a berry. Coffee is one of the highest foods that contain the most contaminants of pesticides and herbicides. Did you know that? Coffee is one of the most heavily sprayed items on the market. Now, people go a step farther and they say you should probably buy your coffee whole beans so you can grind it, because there's a lot of cockroaches in. We're not going to go down that rabbit hole right now. But none of these coffees are good. Do you know that if you are drinking decaf coffee that's not Swiss water processed, you're just dousing your body in chemicals, and most likely you'll start having joint problems. So if you ever drink decaf coffee thinking you're doing well, you've been drinking regular non-organic decaf coffee and your joints start swelling, look at your coffee, because there's a huge chance that the chemicals that are put on that coffee to make it was a chemical process of extraction from the caffeine. It hurts you. Now, Walmart doesn't have a lot of good coffee options. Like believe me, I've looked. And then don't buy things with skulls. They're just evil. Anyway, all these coffees, just none of them are organic. Nothing's good. It's cheap, but cheap that comes at a price. You will have some kind of yucky chemicals. Now, let's go over here to organic coffee, and I'll show you. It usually has okay, now organic coffee. This one's organic. Okay, it's not labeled kosher, but I don't think this one's labeled kosher on the side. But coffee isn't really usually gonna have anything on it that could be unkosher. Truthfully. Not always. I mean, it could. You could get some who knows what crazy people do. But there's anyway, you start to see there's a few brands that are in fact organic. Now,
Will you check the Pete's?
yeah, Pete's is organic, I'm pretty sure, but I don't know if it's labeled kosher.
Yeah, that's the
It's
one
not
that
like-
I use.
Right. It's not labeled. I don't usually worry about coffee. I mean, I've called, like I said, a lot of places over the years. I don't really worry too much. Let's see if this one.
Pete's Coffee is kosher, and so is Death Wish.
Okay, cool. Yeah. Let's not do Death Wish. This one's not showing it on the thing, but so it must be on the side or something like that she's finding. Okay. But Pete's, I mean, it's not terrible. And organic coffee is going to be better than obviously the other one. You can do the mushroom coffee. Why? But I do like, but that might be okay. But I really like I do like the Ticino. Those are good. They don't have them at Walmart. So that's something to look at though. That make sure your coffee is organic. That's one of those things you really want to look for. So pasta, let me show you something. My friend recently was buying all this cheap, crappy Walmart pasta. This pasta right here, horrible for you. First of all, not whole wheat. Second of all, look, this wheat could be genetically modified. So probably not pork, but you don't just buy crappy pasta. I'm telling you why, because a lot of wheat is genetically modified. And even while they say it's not, a couple years ago, like I don't remember 2017, 2018, there was a huge uproar because they found that so much of the wheat was genetically modified. The other thing, remember that wheat is often now harvested and ripened through glyphosate application. That's not good. So glyphosate is Roundup. They put it on it to kill the plant and then harvest the grain heads. They're like just dousing it in there and then they harvest it. Definitely not okay. And so even if it's non-GMO verified, like the Barilla brand here, it really could have chemicals. And so this is where we have to keep praying. But this one's non-GMO verified, at least the Barilla brand. They do have a whole wheat pasta. Their whole wheat pasta is fantastic. It actually tastes really good. They have shells. They have all sorts of things. Again, these are high carb foods, so remember to eat in moderation. They even have a protein one here. It's not a lot of protein, but they put like chickpeas in it. Some of you are gonna hate that, so don't buy it if you would. They don't really have an organic pasta here, but they do have the non-GMO. I don't think they have the organic. Or the pasta sauces, that is a big one because you can't almost find almost any that are even kosher. The reason being, first of all, almost none of them are organic. None of them are labeled kosher because Jews don't label tomatoes kosher, just like they don't label raspberries kosher. So sometimes you have to know, but this company right here, sometimes they'll be organic or non-GMO. This particular one is not, but you can look and find the ones because natural, oh, I'm so sorry. Natural doesn't mean anything good. I mean, like I said, beaver anus is natural and they'll use that for flavoring. Like, not even joking. This right here, this could fool you. This has pork in it, usually. Not always, but some of these brands. This one might not be. There's ones that's made with cashews. It's really good. But if they have, okay, here's the ingredients right here. No, it's not. Where's the ingredients? Ingredients. Water, heavy cream, butter, Parmesan cheese, enzymes in that cheese, soybean oil, food starch, enzymes. Again, right? Potassium metabosulfate. There's all these things that you think, oh, it's just a kosher sauce. It's not kosher, first of all, for a reason. But sometimes you would think like, well, there's no way that has pork. They don't label pork. Remember, they don't label pork. And so make sure if you're buying a white sauce in particular, you look for a kosher sign. Typically, your tomato sauces are going to be kosher, but they're filled with chemicals, GMOs. Here's one, Bertolini. We got a non-GMO verified. I do not believe this one has the kosher sign on the back. I can't tell. But here, yeah, it doesn't say the kosher sign anywhere. And so sometimes you can call the company. You can also, if you knew Rabbinic Judaism, you just know that a lot of times, even if it's kosher, they won't kosher certify the tomatoes. But here's why it is important to check. In this equipment, look at, we have the same company making the creamy sauce, like the Alfredo. Well, that's in the same facility, the same equipment after it's broken down. So, but then you just had pork and shellfish on it. Do you really want your stuff just where they just cooked pork and shellfish, right? No. And so that's why it's important sometimes to like take the extra step, call the company, make sure that there is a kosher sign, because if it was kosher, they made sure there was a thorough, proper process where no pork or shellfish could touch it. Okay. The one sauces, oh, I don't know. There is a sauce. Oh, I am so sorry, guys. I hardly had any sleep last night. Definitely stay away from the Ragu products. Stay away from Great Value. There is a product like this Bertolini has like a one that is actually labeled, or it's, I don't remember what name it is. I'm trying to look for it. Anyway, there is one labeled the kosher and non-GMO verified. This one I do not touch. Because since I know it's organic value, they have tons of products go through the facility. Since it's not labeled kosher, I don't touch it. Because there's a huge chance that it was cross-contaminated with a lobster bisque, a clam chowder, all these things that they cook their equipment in. I mean, if you've ever been in a commercial facility, they have tons of food in the same place, right? Being processed, which is why I always call facilities and say, is there any possibility that this was cross-contaminated by shellfish or pork at all? And if they say yes, I don't. So I never buy this organic value, organic pasta sauce. I stay away from stuff like that. Do be aware also that here, let me go to albertsons.com. But if you eat tomatoes, oftentimes you actually do, you can like it's an inflammatory food, so your joints might swell a little bit. So let's go over here and see if I can online shopping. Okay, here we go. I'm gonna well, I thought I could do it. I guess I can't. I really thought that maybe I can't do it. Oh, well, that's okay. For whatever reason, it's not letting me. It's not letting me.
Mel, what about hot sauces?
That's a good one. So if you go, oh, here. So here, let me look at Albertsons has better ones. You guys might not have. Okay. So look at this one. This is non-GMO verified. Look at the products. So you want to make sure again, is it vegan or okay, this one says vegetarian, keto friendly. I would say probably good. I'm so type A, if it's not labeled kosher, I'm calling the company. Why is this only vegetarian, not kosher? Because it's vegetarian, but did it get contaminated at all by food, an animal product? Oh, no, this one says kosher right here. So we just aren't seeing the label because it says right here, non-GMO project verified, preservative-free, gluten-free, and kosher. So if you like Tabasco, there's a good one. I buy my husband Lola's hot sauce by the gallon. Like, it's vegan. I've called the company. There's no pork or shellfish contamination. It's clean. And he loves it. So, hot sauces, I would never buy any Asian sauce. Asian sauces often combine or contain fish sauce, which is either shrimp or oysters or something like that. So unless it's labeled kosher, I don't get any Asian sauce. Okay, in Azure Standard, let's go back here to Azure. Let me show you something that they have here. Go to the brand Sanjay. All of these are kosher. Like you can have, here's Szechuan. I buy this one for my husband a lot because we do a lot of Szechuan food. We have this pad thai peanut sauce. Amazing. If you guys need a quick dinner, get your pad thai noodles, which are actually really cheap. You can also get those from Azure. They're like 5 to 8 minutes to cook. Well, you actually boil your water and then just let them soak in there. Then you have some veggies. So you get your carrots, your peas, your veggies, you saute them with some meat if you want, or no meat. Put some peanuts in it, put this sauce on. It's a fast dinner and it's amazing because you can do anything you have in the garden, broccoli, peppers, anything goes with it. So if you, and buy this by the case and it's pretty economical. Here's an orange one. Here's a teriyaki. This is pretty good. I do the 6x10 cases of them always. And the Sanjay does great. I will tell you, coconut aminos and this tamari sauce, they don't have the punch that Bragg's liquid aminos is. So since you're going to use so much more, it's more cost effective to go get Bragg's. Just get the Bragg's liquid aminos, you're all good. So, back over here to the hot sauces, you just want to make sure, like this one. No, because a lot of peppers are genetically modified. This one's no added sugars, vegetarian, kosher, and keto friendly. Who cares? Who cares? Kosher rabbis will kosher certify. I literally argued with the head of the Orthodox Union on the phone back and forth because Jews like to argue. And I'm like, why are you kosher certifying things you know contain unclean products? He goes, we do know that GMOs at times do contain unclean products, but since it's no longer the original animal and they extracted that DNA and inserted it in here, we thereby kosher certify it. Do you see why I look for the non-GMO verified and kosher and organic labels? Like, I'm like, I don't just eat something like this because people will look at this. Let's look at the ingredients. People will be like, well, that lied. Oh, aged peppers, distilled vinegar, and salt. To the untrained mind, that looks clean. Tons of peppers are genetically modified. Almost all vinegar is genetically modified if it's not organic or non-GMO. I don't want that in my body. In fact, I argued with the company that makes that French's mustard. This person didn't know what GMOs were. And I said, this is back in like 2007. I said, maybe it was 2006. I said, does your mustard contain GMOs? And like, no. I'm like, well, that was too easy of an answer. How do you know that vinegar doesn't come from like soybean or corn or something? I said, I need to talk to the head of your department. And he's like, no, I can just guarantee you there's no GMOs. Well, I said, I need you to I push. I said, I need you to get me to the head of the department and I need to talk to them. Sure enough, the head of the department picks up. If you are worried about GMOs and you want it to be organic or, non-GMO, do not eat this product. Boom. Do you see why I tell you not to stop at those like little peons who don't know what they're talking about? Same thing like on the internet. There's all these nut jobs telling you what the Bible says. They have no idea. Push to get to the boss. Push through to the boss. So you understand, is there any GMOs in this cockadoodoo stuff they're trying to serve me? So, no. This one is a hot pass, no. Unless the company comes up with the certification to say it's non-GMO verified, you can guarantee they're cheating. You can guarantee there's GMOs in it. Otherwise, it's such a hot ticket item, it would be labeled non-GMO. I mean, that is one of the biggest things. And look at this one right here. This one is vegan and organic. This is a yes. I buy this for my husband. He loves it. Okay, the Oh Brother. But look, it was vegan. Vegans are serious. Like they won't tolerate any animal contamination. Vegans are your friends. Organic people are your friends. Stay close to them because they will like be the little hornet that pushes the way for you. If you see vegan, you're like, at least there's no animal products anywhere in this. Because they will throw a hissy fit, PETA will. They'll be like, I just ate a bunny. How dare you? You know what I mean? They're just like very angry about that.
I have a quick question. So I go back and forth on like the Primal Kitchen sauces and stuff because, well, they have a good mayo that's non-GMO and it's kosher, but then like they have a sauce called like, I think it's like Burger's special sauce or something, and the Yum Yum sauce.
This one right here.
Yeah. And so I think it's vegan, but it's not kosher. And so I called them and they were like, well, we do make everything under kosher guidelines, but we're just not certified. So,
And that's true too, because it costs a lot of money to get kosher certified and you have to get a rabbi in there flown in to do it. So it does say vegetarian, no high fructose corn syrup, If it says no GMOs and stuff like that, it doesn't say it on this one, but I'm sure it does somewhere on the package.
Well, pescatarian would be good because it's no fish, right? Is that right?
Pescatarian, I don't know if pescatarian's good per
Oh, no,
se.
no, no, I'm sorry. Oh, yeah, because,
Because there's nothing wrong with fish, fins and scales, like tuna,
yeah,
salmon. Don't let anybody tell you tuna's unkosher. Everybody has a dumb thought from these Torah fringes, and there's some people who say you can't eat mushrooms because they're not green. I'm like, there's a lot of poisonous plants that are green that I'm not going to eat. Just because it's green doesn't make it edible either. You know what I mean? And so they'll say you can't eat mushrooms, and then they try to say tuna don't have fins and scales, and it's like, what planet do you live on? Get a tuna out of the ocean and look at the scales. They're right there. But they just have some reason. So anyway, with Haley and Ethan, I would just make sure that you would I would make sure it says non-GMO. It
Yeah,
doesn't
in the list down there, it says non-GMO project verified, and I buy it from
okay.
Natural Grocers, so I know it is non-GMO, but, or it is labeled on the one that I had at least. But,
Perfect.
yeah.
And there may be a different one too. That's the other thing to consider.
Okay, but yeah, so it should be good then, if you think, or,
If they're saying it's vegetarian and they're telling you that they just didn't pay us a kosher certification, they could get sued. So yes, them telling you that it is able to be kosher certified, they just didn't bring in the rabbi to do it, is good, because you will call certain companies, they know the liability. You'll say, hey, I'm looking for biblical clean, not necessarily kosher, but I want it to be like kosher, but like no pork or shellfish. And there will be people immediately, do not eat this if you want a kosher product. Click.
okay, thank you.
Yeah, because they can be sued. That's where they have to be so careful. Beverages, should I just say stop and just drink water, organic tea, milk, coffee that's organic? Because most of these things are going to be horrible. Protein powders. Okay, we've probably gone over our time again today, huh? That's okay. We have fun. Any specific questions you guys have? I think this has been you've been liking this, where I kind of go through maybe and show you some of the products available to you. This is our second time doing this. I think, I want to get out the basic recipes again, things I've taught you guys before, how to make your refried beans or tortillas, just kind of the basics, how to make all the different grains in the rice cooker, and because you can make quinoa, barley, things you can do with it. I will have a lot more. I'm almost to have time as soon, because like once winter flies, then I'm not doing all the photography. That's just what happened. I started this program, had plenty of time, and then photography, and then I'll have the time in the winter. But just if you do have questions, reach out. One thing to remember is stay hydrated, lots of water. Even if you can't get out, well, yes, Yesenia said the temperature's a little cooler there, but if it does seem to be hot, make sure you're walking, doing what you can for your activity. Don't definitely overdo it in the heat. Use your weights. If you have to have minimal time of working out, then you want to increase your weights. So you're building muscle mass, which helps you overall. You can walk in place, do jump ropes. Really make sure there's no sugar in your diet. Try to get the processed foods out. Make sure, of course, it's non-GMO at the minimum, kosher, organic, all that stuff. Go ahead, Yesenia.
I was wondering about fenugreek seeds. I've been hearing a lot of things about like them being beneficial for many things, but I like nobody ever really like includes that in foods. So I'm
No.
wondering why.
So, it's not like a normal seasoning for America. I think it's more normal for like Asia areas, India areas. So if we look at right here, yeah, India, that's what I was thinking, India. So, but I don't use anything for a supplement, but if it tastes good, then I'll do it, right? And so fenugreek, I don't remember what it tastes like. It's bitter. That's what it says. Bitter. It's strong, somewhat bitter, yet nutty, sweet flavor. So it's going to be more in curries. Well, we don't eat a ton of curry in America.
Okay.
Our men want steak and potatoes. You know what I mean? And so you can do it. What my always encouragement is this: if I find myself so obsessed that I'm trying to just eat foods to heal something, whatever. But if I'm eating healthy foods just to round out my diet, like vegetables and fruits and stuff, and you want to put some fenugreek in your curry, do it. My curries I take to the spicy level. I like curry, like a lot of paprika, a lot of chili powder, a lot of cinnamon. I don't like the bitter always, but
Yeah, I was thinking more for because I've been hearing about it for like hormones, for women going into that next life.
estrogen.
I'm not there yet, but I mean, if I can add some things that maybe might be beneficial so that I don't have to go out of whack, that kind of thing.
Yeah, so I know that the more estrogen rich foods is like, I think that's what you're hinting at, like pumpkin seeds, stuff like that, fenugreek. I mean, if it helps, in those types of things, you're not healing anything. You're just like eating healthy because like this new, like if your blood sugar starts to get low, you might eat a banana. You might have some, what I'm saying? I think in that respect, you can feel your body what you need. Your body will tell you what it needs without like, it's not like a pharmacy, it's more a therapy. I just don't use fenugreek. I mean, I did have it, I think, in one of my bottles. I had like a big spice collection for my restaurant right above my head, and I would just pull out and have some fun because since I was the health food store and I had the restaurant, people would come and they would always try those dishes because they're like, oh, we're gonna go find something new and interesting. But I don't remember what I did with it. It was probably an Indian dish or curry. I didn't do it a lot. Sometimes I would use I would use a lot of herbs also from Africa. That was kind of fun because I would do some African dishes. Honestly, with menopause, just keep your meat low, keep your other like your dairy proteins high because dairy really helps you replace it. Walk, keep your sugars out. You're gonna be fine.
Okay.
Seth knows all about menopause, don't you? You didn't even hear me.
I heard you.
The other day he said I'm so much older than him. I accidentally called him sweetie. I laughed so hard. He goes, well, you are older than me, like quite a bit older than me. Like, you dork. It was so funny. I call everybody sweetie on the messages. Okay, like, hi, sweetie. I realize that, like, there'll be old women even, like, I'm like, I didn't mean to call her sweetie like that. But, okay. Well, I hope that helps. Did you guys have any other questions about any products or you're wondering, like, some ideas of something before we go? Sorry for my sniffling. Oh my gosh, the allergies are so bad today. Azure is definitely a good way. Azure goes to all 50 states. If you don't have it, that's fine. But they even have seeds. Oh, let me quickly show you this. If you want to buy garden seeds, you want to go to rareseeds.com, okay? This is a good place. They have open pollinated heirloom seed varieties. These people are Seventh-day Adventists, so they do keep the Sabbath. I always try to support those kind of companies. Even if we don't align on everything, they have a vegan restaurant. They're down in Missouri. They do a fantastic job. He was actually born in Montana, raised in Montana. They moved down to Missouri. Cool company. They're closed on Sabbath. I love companies. Same thing with Azure Standard. They're closed on Sabbath. They're open Sunday through Friday. So I always try to support those companies. I don't have to like align everything with them, but I try to support them. So this particular company is another one if you want to get seeds to start stocking up, because if you don't have places to stock up grains, then stock up seeds. Rareseeds.com. It's called Baker's Creek. Okay, well, happy living 15,000 steps today, every day. Make sure you're getting 15,000 steps. Make sure you're eating enough food. Danielle's looking fantastic, by the way. I'm like, she's actually like, looks like glowing lately again. Praise Yah, praise Yah. He's helped bring her back from where she was. I looked at her the other day. I'm like, wow, she looks so pretty today. And she's just like, it's nice when people are at their healthy weight. Don't worry about being skinny, please. Don't worry about being bulky. Just be healthy, okay? So really focus on just walking, movement, keeping your core tight when you walk. No sugar. You can eat plenty of snacks through the day. Tyler, you're a little bit skinny. We're going to have to fatten you up. I'm teasing. Somebody has their hand up, it sounded like, but okay. Kim. I was like, I couldn't see it.
So Seth asked about parasite cleanses, and I've wondered about them too, because I've been wanting to do a parasite cleanse for William because he eats anything in the woods. So would that be
Well,
pharmacia or like if
I
you
will
do?
tell you, it's not necessarily everybody I know who does it does witchcraft. I've never known anybody who wasn't into like that stuff. And the Lord's always told me, you don't need that, Mel. You don't need that. And so, because if you're eating healthy, you don't need it. But this new rage is coming from these like Torah witches, like there's all these ones that do all this spells. It's always those groups. And so, my response has always been when Yahweh has always told me you don't need that. I'm not going to say it's evil, just pray. I know the groups of people who are doing it are definitely led in that way. And I just like the same people. Okay, and let me tell you something. I have a scientist friend who actually invented patents. He's a millionaire because of the patents he's invented. Very, very rich guy. Now, skeptical of everything, thank God. You remember those things they'd stick in your ear, those candles, and pretend it was pulling out toxins? I could have told you it was a farce. Well, he pulled it apart. They're always going to turn brown because they're designed. He did this scientific experiment when there was nothing there. It always turns brown. You just get the heat on it, it turns brown. It was always a gimmick. Same thing with the people who put those pads on your feet. It's all gimmicking, working on your mind, trying to fool you. So if you do the actual experiments, because nobody's going to waste the money, right? So they don't actually do the time to figure this out. But it's all like he set up his whole lab. I was doing all those experiments and showed it's always going to turn brown. I tell you this, you are following Yah. If there's anything in you spiritually, he will get it out of you. I would never do it anyway other than that. If you ever want like a natural dewormer just to keep your body, eat flaxseed with your every little thing you do. Just put a little bit of flax seeds on. That's how you get worms out of anything in creation is flax seeds. If your horses are a little bit constipated or you think they have worms, you put a little bit of flaxseed out for them. They're going to eat it and just helps pass the worms out. Just saying. Just saying. What was said? What is his little picture there?
And
Oh, yeah.
along those lines, because I'm thinking like if we're eating healthy over time, like is it true that our body, like our cells, like our body kind of over 7 years, every 7 years, it kind of regenerates
Oh,
itself?
yeah, you're
Is that-
regenerated. Yeah,
Yeah.
you're a whole new
Okay.
body
Yeah.
every so many years. The other
Okay.
thing is like he's helping us, and it's all spiritual too. It's all linked spiritually. So if you are still holding on to things where the worm does not perish, and that's the sign right there that the worm's going to continue to rot. It's the things of Satan rather than God, things that would rot. He'll just get it out. Like just let him keep teaching you. We don't have to research what's wrong with me. That's what 2 Kings chapter 1 does. That's why the king got in trouble. Am I going to live or die? Like, I don't ask God what's wrong with me. I'm like, you tell me what I need to know. And so I wouldn't even, yeah. Yeah, nope. I wouldn't do one. Mecca.
Maple syrup. Do you keep yours in the refrigerator when you get it?
Nope. You don't have to. You can. It shouldn't have to be refrigerated. Pure maple syrup is shelf stable. If you guys do want really good maple syrup, contact Holly and Nate Tatnam. Remember our little brothers and sisters on the fellowship? They have a maple tree farm, all pure, that they have from their thing. A little pricey, but apparently really good. I don't eat syrup because it's a lot of sugar and I'm old now. And so I try, if I like today, I just had a whole bunch of honey. I'll eat honey more rather than eating syrup. You also have to be careful of the modern syrups after, oh yeah, Kim said, after COVID, they were allowed certain cheatings. And so it's not always maple syrup. That's the problem. So if your maple syrup is starting to mold, that means there was something else in it like corn syrup. Yeah.
What about if the next feast? Did you put out a schedule yet on when we're fellowshipping or?
So we're fellowshipping. I told Kimberly that. Yeah, so I was working on the healthy habits all morning, answering literally 11.5 miles worth of questions and I didn't get them all caught up.
Oh,
So,
okay.
but I'm going to do that right now. So Thursday night, we're going to meet at 8 p.m. Mountain Standard Time on Zoom and Facebook Live. Thursday night and then Saturday morning. Oh, I'm sorry, Tuesday. Tuesday, I have the thing with Scott. The YouTube. So YouTube with Scott, we always do our every other Tuesday thing. And I think this week he wanted to talk about anti-Semitism within the Torah community and how we got to stop like yes, the Israeli government's evil. Yes, what they're doing is wrong. Yes, Netanyahu is bad, but the people who actually came back are not just the Rothschild Jews. Like physically, they are the Jews. Like it's like people are just there's just a lot of misinformation out there, and it's like. So he wanted to go through that. So I don't know. I'm at his mercy what he decides we're going to talk about. I don't really know. I just show up. I don't prepare in advance because I feel like lets the Holy Spirit move a little bit better. And so, okay. I love you guys. Seth wants flaxseed so you can poop worms. Seth, just eat healthy. Just go, keep drinking the water. Honestly, I've known very few people who have worms, and everybody I knew who had the worms, it was like almost like, I have to admit, they were people who were into some really dark stuff. I haven't known very many people who weren't. Farm kids usually weren't the ones with worms. And if farm kids got worms, it came in usually through their feet, the hookworms. And so
I did one of those thingies, like, and nothing came out. So
exactly,
that
most
was
people,
when I first came to Torah too, and so I thought that would be okay because it was like a natural thing,
right.
but nothing came out. I was pretty upset for spending the money.
Most of those things are gimmicks. We have Yah. He will show you if there's anything he's cleansed. Just eat healthy. Kim eats really healthy. Her kids eat really healthy. I eat carrots right out of the garden ground. Like I just dust them off and eat them because honestly, there's good nutrients in the soil that are really good for our stomachs. And that's why we can't drink the water out of the creeks anymore because our gut flora, we've gotten it too clean. So yeah, there's just things going on. Seth, you cannot. Oh, okay, that's wrong. So Seth said he eats off the same plates as cats. Yes, don't do that because cats are licking their butthole. That tongue licks their butthole to get it clean. And then that same tongue on your food would definitely be unkosher. So let's think about that. You can love your little friends, but that tongue cleaned that butthole. And then it's licking that plate. And there are worms that come out of cats. That's not mean. I love my cats. I love Oreo. I love Sweetie. And I love, can you remember his name? Chester the Molester. I love them all. Well, Chester the Molester was suckling my dog. When Minnie was here, we would come outside every day and Chester was suckling Minnie. And we're like, this is wrong. Something's definitely R-rated about this. And then I found out that, I'm not even joking, my dog, a guardian dog that would kill anything, took on coyotes and badgers, took on full packs of coyotes, 30 coyotes. I watched her. Lays down, lets a cat suckle. And I'm like, because Jim goes, Mel, I just get this random text message. The cat is suckling Minnie. I'm like, no way. So he FaceTimes me. I get home and the dog is laid over so the cat can suckle her. I'm like, this is wrong, Minnie. This is so disgustingly perverse, wrong. But then we Googled it and some animals do that. Like they latch on to show, but it was just still wrong. So wrong. And so that's just wrong. But anyway, the point being, that's how Chester the Molester got his name. We called him Chester the Molester because he was all over, he was molesting Minnie. So we just thought it was horrible. So anyway, Seth, let's get you cleaned from the inside out. Getting the cats off your plate could also be coming back out of the catty behavior. We're gentle, lilies among the thorns. I have to tease them, but it's actually kind of true. So we don't eat with the cats anymore. We eat with the humans. You and Haley can share a plate. Haley can eat off your plate because she didn't lick her butthole. But so you can eat the same plate, okay? But you can't share plates with the cats. Give them their own plate. Oh, I do not have cats or animals in my house ever for a reason, because I know what happened to that animal. Now, a cow, a mini cow, I have really considered. Seth, they're animals? Like they're physically animals. They wouldn't actually be confused and hurt. They might be confused, but they wouldn't be hurt. Do you know, Seth, if you perish in your home and you're alone, they will eat you. Your cats that you think love you so much, studies show that those cats turn and eat you. A dog will guard you, but a cat will turn and eat you. So don't think that they love you like you love them. They're going to betray you one day. Please don't die in front of them, because that would be horrible, because we'd find no cat with no Seth anymore. Haley would come home and just see like finger bones, like something like that, because the cats would have eaten everything. Did you know that? Like literally studies show that like if a animal owner dies in the house and nobody discovers them, the cats eat the owner. But with the dog will never touch the owner and guard the owner.
He just defends those cats no matter what. Look at that.
I know. It's because they know I'm dead. Cass has been delivered from having a cat inside. Okay, guys. Well, I love you. I better get going. I gotta go get dinner for my very masculine, beautiful husband. And you guys probably have to get dinner going. And then Tuesday night, I'll do the schedule right now before I get out there and do it. Love you guys.
Thank
We're
you.
missing-
Love you.
We're missing quite a few. Was Jeanette cleaning? Hannah, where was she? I don't know. Okay, love you guys.
Bye, love you.
Bye.